It's Friday. Time for another weekly update. Our neighbors in West Knox County have had a rough week. The National Weather Service confirmed that a EF2 tornado with 130-mile-an-hour winds touched down in the area. It was part of a system of storms that reached from Georgia to New York. Across the country, 2 people were confirmed killed. While we suffered no loss of life and no serious injuries that we know of, property damage was significant. The Lovell Crossings Apartment complex was evacuated due to some of their buildings' roofs being blown off and windows broken out. Covenant Health's corporate headquarters next door suffered similar damage, and trees all along Bob Gray Road, along with the electricity lines there, were knocked down. The damage was spotty and localized, but if you were one of the people displaced, had your home damaged, or lost your power, it was a serious event. When things like this happen, I am always amazed at the response from emergency management, all their partners, nonprofits in the private sector, and even friends and neighbors. Obviously, the priority for us is life safety, ensuring that the area is free of hazards as much as we can. In this situation, with widespread downed electricity lines, the utility providers cut power to the area. This can be a dicey proposition because due to how the grid is kind of a patchwork constructed ad hoc over the years, sometimes electricity is coming from a different substation than you might expect. That's why it is so dangerous to be around a down power line. Even if you think the power is cut off, it might be fed from somewhere else, and the line could be live. That's also why it's so frustrating when you see a line crew working close to you and everyone else's lights come on, but yours don't. It's because your electricity is coming from somewhere else and not the line in front of your house. And it's also important to remember, if you're running a generator, ensure that it is not feeding back to the grid, as that can seriously injure, even kill line workers. Once the power is off, our road crews coordinate with the electricity providers to begin clearing the roadways, both so residents can get around and also so that line workers can get into the area to begin repairs. First responders and law enforcement are on standby in case of medical emergencies. Evacuations may also be ordered as they were at Lovell Crossings. From there, cleanup begins, including restoring electricity. With the severity of the damage, this process has taken a few days. Dozens of electric poles were down. Since it takes 8 to 12 hours to put up each new pole, this is an arduous, time-consuming process. KUB and LCUB both deployed dozens of line crews, including some from outside of our area, to get the power back on. Unfortunately, our road crews cannot complete their work until it's safe to do so, so we have to wait until the line crews have fixed the down lines. As you can see, with electricity lines in the middle of a brush heap, it can be a very dangerous situation. I applaud everyone who's been working so hard to get things back to normal. From the line crews, to our road crews, to law enforcement and first responders, to churches and nonprofits, the private sector, and friends and neighbors. It's the worst of times that bring out the best in us, and this episode was no exception. We have a pop-up banner on the knoxcounty.org website with a link to a web page on which you can find contact information for resources to help with the recovery. Again, that's knoxcounty.org, and look for the pop-up banner. Until next Friday, God bless, and I hope everyone has a great week.